Alright, what is going on, guys? My name is Leon Master, and today, boys, we are back with another tier list. Possibly the final one, maybe, maybe not. But it is a support duos. You guys have been asking for this one as well a little bit in the comments. We've done the DPS one. You guys, for sure, love the DPS ones. It's the best tier list so far, actually, on the channel, right beside some of the off-season ones as well. And now we're on the support ones. And before we go on, I do want to say this is personally my opinion. I know a lot of you guys also have your own opinions. Make sure to put that down below. But as I said, this is my opinion. This is my list. So anyways, let's go and start off with the first one, Atlanta Rain, Dogman, and Masa. They may be making changes to their main support. We don't know that yet, but obviously Masa's still going to start. If Karkar is possibly joining the team, that is possible. He could be going to the academy team as well. But anyways, Masa and Dogman. I do think these guys were good at the end of the season. In the beginning, it was pretty rusty, obviously, because Dogman did have his inconsistencies. They were trying to do in Kodak, see which one was doing the best. Dogman did come out on top, and I do agree with that one move as well. Masa was the only main support, like I said, with Dogman. They had their up and downs a lot near the beginning of the season. As soon as the end of the season came around, they got better. I don't think they're A and S, but I'll tell you what, I do think they are going to be above average in B. I do think they are going to look the same like they did at the end of the season. Bring that in the next season with the newish looking team with Edison and obviously everyone else they're bringing in. I think they're going to look good next season with the same support duo. They're not making any changes. I don't really see changes to be made unless something happens bad during the season. But that's really, yeah, I do think Dogman's pretty good. Obviously, you can definitely get an upgrade over Dogman somewhere. Maybe a Korean flex support, a Korean support anywhere. Masa, I definitely think Masa's fine for a little bit, but obviously we'll need to upgrade over him at some point as well. These two are going to be fine for the beginning of the season, but as the season goes on, who knows, but I do have hope that these guys will be pretty consistent during the entire season, especially with their teams looking like right now. Definitely, possibly a top 5 team right now. Then on to the next one, the Boston Uprising, Swimmer, and Myeonbong. And if you guys have been here for a while, you guys know my opinions on Myeonbong. I definitely think he's going to be insane with the team for sure. Swimmer, on the other hand, he is one of my favorite main support players. I feel like I need to get that out of the way real quick before I go on anything. I do think Swimmer will have a pretty hard time getting into the league for the first couple of games. As time goes on, though, I think he will be good. I do want to put him average right now, though. I don't think they'll be insane. Like, you know, maybe I don't think they'll be like Masa Dogman. Maybe near the end of the season they will be, but I don't think Swimmer will perform that well. I do think Swimmer's a fantastic player. I just don't think when you like maybe rate him the Masa, then Animo, or then like Moth. I don't think Swimmer's up there yet. I do think he will learn as the season goes on. Then he could be one of the best. But I don't think he'll be one of the best. Myeonbong is going to be very good. I know people could argue this team right here, but when I look at it right now, I want to put it as average C, though. Then on to the next one, we got Yveltal and Kyo. And this one was also another interesting support duo throughout the entire Overwatch League. Kyo had a lot of good moments. Yveltal had a lot of interesting moments as well. It's another one I do want to put average, but before we go on, I do play main support, or flex support, whatever you want to say, in Overwatch. I do play all sports, and so I study these guys a lot when I wanted to play competitively, and then I still kind of do it here and there. So I know what they gotta do. I know what their wrong plays are, what some good plays are, and just in general, obviously I know they're better than me, but obviously every pro has their bad moments. I do think Kyo's a fantastic player. Yveltal, on the other hand, is actually very good as well, but like I said, when you compare it to maybe Masa or people above them, it's going to be interesting. I do think there could be an upgrade over Yveltal at some point. But obviously, Chengdu has not made that many moves yet. There's a potential CODIS signing coming in, but that one's pretty in the air because obviously people have come out and say that one's actually not true. So 100 is still up in the air. They made 0 moves so far this season, so don't take this one 100% just yet. I may come back in the description and edit this. Just keep that in mind. If there is new signings as time goes on, like let's say Dallas signs a new flex support or Chengdu gets a new main support, I'll come back and say, hey, I rate this team now. Or, you know, just in general, I'll do that. Then on to the next one, we got Dallas Fuels, Closer, and Unco. And if you guys have been here for a while, you guys also know I've wanted to see an upgrade over Unco so far this offseason. It looks like it's not happening so far. I do think Dallas Fuel's done, in my opinion. I think Young was their last, a little movement throughout the entire season. I really hope not, because they definitely need an upgrade here. Obviously, Dallas Fuel had tank issues season 1. They had DPS issues season 2. Are they going to have support issues season 3? I hope not. On the other hand, though, Closer was very good at the Dallas Fuel. A lot of people say he wasn't, but if you watch him, this man almost never died through stages 2 through 4. Obviously, stage 1 was pretty bad for Closer, like very bad. His beat usage is very, very well timed, like a very well timed. When there's a beat, he beats it very well. A grab near almost last second when almost everyone's about to die. His beats are very, very good, but when you have Uncle beside you, it's going to be very hard to do anything. If this is what they're going to roll into next season, it's another average one. I don't think they'll be as good as the Atlanta Rain support duo. I just don't think that. If they do get an upgrade over Unco, for sure they could move up. Maybe like Bedosen's still in the air. We don't know if he's going to go to Soul Dynasty or not. Maybe that Hogopin. Maybe they could go up here. But with this support duo right here, I don't see it doing that well next season at all. Their DPS duo's looking great. Their tank duo's looking alright. But I don't think this is going to do good next season. Then on to the next one, we got Chris in Gangnam Jin. And another interesting support duo. I do think Gangnam Jin is very, very good at the video game, obviously. Then we have Chris, which is an interesting one because I think you can get an upgrade over Chris. Nuss is still on the market, I'm pretty sure. Still LFT. You could get Nuss, put him beside Gangnam Jin. But things have came out and said Chris is very communicative, and that's very important with the Florida Mayhem. It's another interesting one. I do think Gangnam Jin is actually very, very bright with this team. I do think Chris can work well with the new people around him. Obviously, the new DPS, Gangnam Jin, the tanks. I do think Chris could have a potential breakthrough, I guess you could say, if that's the right word to use for this next season with the Florida Mayhem. Florida is looking better. If Kuki can coach him well, I do think this support duo will do well. I do want to think this one will be... I want to put him like in between. If you guys are watching the video, you guys heard me. It's almost like an in between. I don't think they're above average yet. I don't think they're there yet. Gangnam Jin is very bright, just like Boston Uprising. Myeongbong's very good, but will it be above average? Don't really know about that one yet. I do think, like I said, Myeongbong's good. Swimmer, he'll be interesting. If Chris breaks through, like if he's good, then yes, they'll be good. But obviously what we've seen of him recently makes me not want to have that just yet. I do want to put him C average. Gangnam Jin, on the other hand, like I've said, he's going to be good at this team for sure. Then on to the next one, we got Guangzhou Charge, Neptuno, and Shu. Shu was just great throughout the entire season, and Neptuno was as well, especially Neptuno's comms, which is one of the big reasons why they picked them up actually on the Charge. I do think this one will be fantastic of a support duo. Shu is just one of the best off-support players in general, very underrated. I feel like no one talks about him that much. Obviously, he got some spotlight in Stage 1, and it kind of just fell off because the Charge didn't do so good Stage 2 and 3. Then 4, they came through again. Neptuno being added over Chara, another good one is for sure. I do kind of want to put him A, but I also want to put him B as well. It's going to be interesting. I want to put him A for now. This could change, but I do want to put him A, especially how Charge is going to probably look next season. I want to think they're going to do good. Hopefully, Neptuno does well with Shu beside him, but this could fall down here, maybe. But right now, this was going to stay A. I may change it later on, though. Then on to the next one. We got IDK and Bebe. Another great support duo as well. I do instantly want to put them B, though, because obviously they showed a lot of inconsistencies throughout the entire season. I feel like everyone should know that by now. Stage 1 was interesting. Then do stages 3, 4. There were just some weird, performances coming out of these guys. Obviously, one of IDK's best one-known plays in the Overwatch League was when he booped off Color Hex, or whoever it was on the Boston Uprising, and that was a game-winning boop from IDK. Bebe's outstanding Zenyatta. Obviously, like I said, he has inconsistent moments, and then he has some good games, like very good games. But you always want to have a good game every game, and a lot of people could do that. Like obviously Violet on the Shock, Jonak on the NYXL. You want to have those kind of performances. I know Bebe can do that. I know IDK can do that as well, but they showed inconsistencies. Makes me want to put them above average right now, though. Then on to the next one. We got the Houston Outlaws, Boink, and Repel. I'm very excited that Houston Outlaws got Repel. I will be honest with that one. But Boink, man, he did not show one good performance, in my opinion, on the Houston Outlaws. Maybe 1 or 2 games, but that was really it. And if they're not signing a new main support for the Houston Outlaws, I'm sorry, Outlaws fans. I know Repel's great. We just didn't see him pop off that much in the league. Obviously, Twilight was there. It's very hard to get a spot over Twilight. But Boink being here really ruins it. Like, really, really ruins it. I don't think they're going to be F. I do think they will be below average right now. Right now. We don't know if Repel's going to work well with Boink. I don't think they will work well together. Boink is like a very solo kind of Lucio, goes on and does his own things every now and then. He will be with a team player Lucio at some points. I just don't think Boink will be well with Repel by his side. Maybe I will be wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. I always want to be proven wrong when it comes to support duos. I don't think this one will do the best, in my opinion. Then on to the next one, we got Fuse and Highly. And this one's another very interesting one. I know you guys hear me say that every time so far, but Fuse had some interesting performances as well on Philadelphia University, and Highly did not impress me that much on Soul Dynasty. I do think he'll do very well, though, like really, really good on the line of Spitfire, and he'll have a starting time throughout the entire season, most likely. Maybe he'll be Krillin, who knows, maybe it could be. Fuse, on the other hand, I do think he's pretty good as well. Didn't show the best performances as well on Fusion University. And before I go on, I have not watched Sanguinar at all, so Sanguinar could start over Fuse as well. A lot of good things that came out of Sanguinar. I haven't watched them. I don't want to make up some fake, opinions on them. So I want to go off of Fuse and Highly. I don't think these guys will be insane as well. I do think another below average maybe. I will say this. I do like London Spitfire looks good. I think it will take time, like a lot of time, to be really good. When I look at this support duo, I don't know if they could beat even Closer and Unko. I don't think they'll beat the Chengdu Hunters one just yet. Maybe they could. Maybe they would. I don't know. This one's very interesting. I do think Hylia has potential. I do think Fuse has potential. I think I'm going to put them here for now. I don't want to put them in the same category as Boink and Repel. I don't think they're that bad. I'm not saying Repel's bad. I just don't think they just definitely don't deserve to be in there. I do think, if anything, C is probably right. I do think they will be average now that I think about it. But like I said, with my opinions down here, they still stick the same way here. Highly, I think he will do good. Fuse will be interesting to go off to this season. Now let's go on to the next one. We got Big Goose and Shaz, another great support duo that we've seen throughout the entire Overwatch League, Season 1 and 2, and now it's about to be 3. They obviously have Paintbrush for a sub if Big Goose is ever sick. Don't fix it if it ain't broke kind of thing. It's like obviously this support duo has been working for so long, and whenever it stops working, definitely bring in some moves. But as it stands, I think it's going to be another A1, especially how Gladiators is going to look next season for sure. I think Gladiators will look better. Obviously, their DPS is still a question mark. They are signing in a new DPS, if you guys did not see that one. So I do think this one's going to be good. In my opinion, I do think it is. Shaz has been consistent throughout the entire season. He's very underrated still. Somehow he's still underrated. No one talks about how good he is. Big Goose, on the other hand, is still underrated. I feel like no one's talking about how good these supports are on the Gladiators. And they could be S at one point. They could definitely be S. We haven't seen their full potential yet, in my opinion. And I do think they will be A. Then on to the next one. Good old LA Valiant. They signed good off sports. I'll be honest here. They signed Lastro, one of the best off sports in all contenders, and I even put them in my top 10 people who should be in Overwatch League, and Lastro's now in it. They've signed Slur, which I've heard good opinions on, but their main support is what's making me very, very worried. Obviously, you guys know that Custa is my favorite main support, but that obviously isn't gonna say anything. Obviously he's not the best Lucio. Obviously, he's not the best on, but except for Mercy, which we're not going to see Mercy come in the meta for a while. Honestly, we're not. But they also are signing Rain as well. Not a good main support signing as well. I don't see this one doing well. I do think Lastro's great, but as LA Valiant's looking right now, like, they're looking not good at all. I do think their DPS could have potential a little bit. Their tank duo is not sounding good so far. Support duo, even Custa thinks they're going to be at least 14th or below himself, and that's not a good sign. I just think this one will not work. Like, I like Lastro as a player. I think he will do good. I definitely think he'll be the brightest spot on LA Valiant, but compared to everyone, like this support duo compared to everyone above him, it's definitely an F tier. I just don't see this one doing well at all. I don't see LA Valiant doing well at all. I'm sorry, Valiant fans. I just don't see it happening unless there's a giant meta change somehow and it fits the LA Valiant playstyle. That's all I see. Then on our first S tier, maybe the NYXL. What else do I need to say? Obviously, Animo did have pretty inconsistent performances, but still ended up being very good. He made up for those performances in that same game still. If he didn't do well, he ended up being very good on the same map, possibly, or did great ults. Obviously, he may have fed. That's every sport, though. Everyone feeds. And Jonak, on the other hand, is still one of the best off sports. Obviously, this is going to be a S tier. What else do I need to say? If you guys watch the league, you guys know how good these are. I don't think they'll fall off just yet. I do think they will sign another main support other than Animo at some point. Obviously, they have Mandu right now, which Mandu is going to be underage for March for a while. Let's see how he works. Maybe will he be integrated with the team a little bit? I don't think so, because obviously Animo and Jonak have been a duo for a while now. Huge support synergy as well. I don't see Mandu coming in as a starter. If he does, fantastic for him. Let's see what happens with it, though. Then we'll to the next one. We got Cruz and Grey, or Cruz and Hip. Whatever you guys are going to do. I definitely think it's going to be the same way no matter what. I don't see this one doing well at all as well. I don't see it. I think this is another F tier. Their team's looking good, right? But the support ones, I'm confused why they didn't make a single support change at all. Obviously, they are. It's looking like, according to Halo of Thoughts, they are signing FD God as a two-way contract. Paris Eternal Academy is coming back, so that could leave some, good ideas coming for the Paris Eternal later with an academy team, bringing up some EU players possibly, or two ways. I really wanted to see Paris release at least one Ossport and sign maybe someone like Bedosin or just any Ossport out there in general, maybe Revenge to work with No Smite again. I don't like Gray and Hip as Ossports. I think you could release one of them, then do an upgrade. Even if it was Hip aside Cruz as well, Hip or Gray, no matter what it is, I definitely think it's going to be F. Cruz definitely has work to do. If their new coaches them well, they could definitely be pretty high up there. But what we've seen of them last season, coming to the next season, I'm not that hyped for it. I don't think they're going to do the best. I do think, like I said, I think the DPS and tanks are going to do fantastic. Will their support duo do well? I don't think so. Then on to the next one, we got the Philadelphia Fusions, Alarm, and Funny Astro. This one's going to be such an aggressive support duo. If you guys have watched my stream, you guys know how hyped I am for the support duo, the work of Sato. If you guys are new here, I think Sato is going to work well with these two supports. They're very aggressive, and as we know, Sato's also a very aggressive main tank. With Funny Astro by his side and Alarm as well, I think Sato will be alive a lot during the season. Obviously, with Funny Astro, I think this one's going to work. I don't want to put him A right now because we haven't seen him in the league, how they're going to perform in the league. But on paper, I think they are going to be above average. Alarm is just fantastic. Will be a top 5 Ossport no matter what. And Funny Astro, his time in Atlanta Academy proved that he is definitely Overwatch League worthy, and he can do a lot on the stage as well. When he did play a little bit with Atlanta Rain, just maybe one game, I'm pretty sure. I think this one will work a lot. I don't want to put him A just yet, but like I've said, this one will do really good next season. Then on to the next one, Moth and Violet, another fantastic support duo. They were consistent throughout the entire time. If you guys remember what I said about the Guangzhou Spark, these two had consistent games every time, had a good game every time. Also, it's just the Shock in general, right? They have a great team. Guangzhou Spark does not really level with the Shock as well, but these guys were fantastic throughout the entire season. Violet was perfect the entire time. Moth, he learned so much through the season as well. I definitely think these two are just going to be great next season as well. I don't see what you need to change with it right now. Obviously, if the support duo does die out at some point, maybe season 4 or 5, I think the support duo is going to work for a while. Then on to the next one, we got Toby and Creative. Another interesting one, I do gotta say myself. I don't know how this one's gonna work yet. I've heard not the best things with Creative, for sure. I've watched them myself as well. A lot of people said they definitely could have found someone better, and I kind of agree with that one as well. There is a rumor or a leak coming from the reliable person that Bedosin is being signed from this whole dynasty. I do think that one could be good, but obviously Bedosin was pretty inconsistent as well with the London Spitfire last season, but that was the entire London Spitfire, right? Toby, on the other hand, was very good with this whole dynasty, showed he still deserved a starting spot on the team, and he definitely deserved it. Was still better than Jexay. Toby's going to be very good, but with Creative by his side, I don't know about that one. It's going to be interesting as it stands right now. I want to put him above average. I do. A part of me wants to put him average, but I feel like when you have Toby, who can work well with any off-sport beside his side, I definitely think Creative will look good as well. And if it is Bedosin, I definitely think it could be above average still, or A. We still don't know if Bedosin is going to be on the team or not. When I look at this, I definitely think it is above average. I definitely think it will work. We'll need to see what happens, though. Like I said, we'll definitely need to see what happens. But Toby, with his performance beside any off-sport, it works well. I do think it'll be good at this whole dynasty. Then on to the next one, we got Shanghai Dragons, Lee Jae-gon, and Izayaki. Now, I know a lot of people are going to question why I don't have Luffy on here. I just think they want to make a new synergy with new supports. Lee Jae-gon and Izayaki, they can now be worked with each other. And obviously Moon was on LA Valiant, now he's on Shanghai Dragons. A lot of people kind of forgot about that one. And maybe he wants to work with Izayaki a little bit more and make him work with Lee Jae-gon. In the times we saw in the Shanghai Masters tournament, or whatever it was called, they looked good still. Izayaki's still one of the better off-sports in the league. I do want to know how this will work out. They still showed great performances. I do want to put him A. I do want to, but Izayaki was pretty inconsistent. Lee Jae-gon's very aggressive. It's an interesting one to rank as well. I do want to put him A, though. I do want to put him A. I feel like this one will do well next season, especially from previous performances from Izayaki himself. He was one of the brighter spots, honestly, on LA Valiant for a little bit. Not the longest time, but when Kriv came on stage, Kriv definitely earned a spot as well. Izayaki, I definitely think he will earn a spot on the Shanghai Dragons. Lee Jae-gon, he's just insane player. A lot of people know how good he's going to be in the next season. I don't think he'll fail anyone if anyone's on his radar. I definitely think he'll be pretty good. I did end up moving Dogman up a little bit because I just don't think when you have these supports here, I definitely think Mossa and Dogman can stand with these. I don't think he definitely deserves to be in a area of Bebe and IDK. Funny Astro and Alarm still has potential. I think it's fair to move Atlanta Rain up a little bit. Then on to the next one, we got Terrassa Defiance, Carib, and Agilities. I still think this one's going to do very well, in my opinion. Carib was definitely fantastic throughout the entire season. So was Kelix as well. A lot of people don't think Kelix is the best. If anything, I definitely think he's underrated. No one's really talked about him that much still somehow. I think Kelix will work with the new team with Carib by his side as well. I think this one's going to be above average in my opinion, and just in my opinion in general. I see this one working out a lot. Carib obviously showed a lot of great performances on LA Valiant. A lot of games he carried himself. Kelix was very consistent on the Boston Uprising. Didn't really die that much. Obviously, the Boston Uprising were 19th or 20th place. I think they were 20th. But when I look at that team, throughout all the losses, Kelix was the most consistent player. Didn't die a lot. Still had great healing. Still was just trying to support his team anyway with boops, beats. He was still a consistent support duo, and I definitely think he will work with Carib. Then on to the next one, we got Twilight and Slime. This one's another obvious one for sure. Just S tier. What else? What else do I need to say? Twilight's fantastic. Slime's fantastic. They have great synergy. There could be a potential if next season we are running BAP Zen. We could possibly see Twilight run the BAP and Ryu Jae-hong come in as the Zen possibly. That's a possibility. Me having fun as well. But as we do know, Twilight does play the BAP and Ryu Jae-hong's great on the Zen. So will it work out? Maybe. The support duo either way, this will be the main support duo we'll probably see throughout the season. It's an obvious one, S tier. They performed very well throughout the entire Overwatch 6 season. Not many bad games came out from these players. Then on to the next one, we got Ark and Aim God. Another fantastic support duo. I feel like no one's talking about, honestly. Ark was fantastic throughout the entire Justice for sure. He had great comms, great everything with this team. As soon as he came in, the team looked a little bit better. Obviously, they were still losing many games, but they looked better with Ark beside him. And he still did everything he did on the NYXL, boops, beat timing, everything. He still had great shot calling. He was still a good leader behind the scenes. It works well. Aim God, on the other hand, is definitely an upgrade over Guido. Somehow, I feel like I would never said that, but Guido was performing very, very well throughout the entire season somehow. We didn't expect him to do that. Obviously, mostly Stage 4 was when Guido popped off. No one expected him to pop off that well. We thought that we're going to keep Guido because he was just doing very well, but they got Aim God in, and Aim God's a huge upgrade over Guido. And will it work? I definitely think it will work, but the thing that worries me is obviously the issues from Aim God we've heard in the past. Will it work? Because it does seem like he get angry pretty easily. And Ark, on the other hand, does look like he gets angry pretty easily as well. I do think this one could be here. Could. But I want to put him above average because of the issues they could have in general in the team. But as a support duo, they're going to be good. They just will. There is possibly chances of them being inconsistent. Ark has had some pretty inconsistent games on the NYXL and even the Justice in general. Aim God has also had some inconsistent games, and like I said, I do think it will work, but on the Justice will it work? Hopefully it does. Now, that is it with the support duo list. I honestly think this one's my best list so far. I feel like it's decently evened out. Obviously, there's only one below average, but I just definitely think that one's below average, not F. It's not the worst, also not the best. But I feel like this is definitely evened out. A little bit in S, a little bit in A, and mostly all kind of in average. I think this one's pretty well. I do think, like I said, if you're a Boston Uprising fan, I definitely think this could do good near the end of the season. I definitely think a lot of these could end up working, but it's hard to say because obviously the past and obviously what they looked like in the past as well. Going to be interesting. I hope it's good for some of these teams, but then again, we need to see what happens later on. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I do have another tier list planned. Maybe the next one could potentially be a sub tier list. Obviously, the next season subs are going to be very important, and I kind of want to make a tier list off of that. Obviously, there could be multiple parts on that because there is a lot of subs in the Overwatch League, but I'll keep thinking about that one a little bit more. But that is going to be it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to join my Discord down below. Also, don't forget to follow my Twitter and my Twitch, and don't forget to hit that bell, and don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys on the next one.